Michael Olise simply has to be one of the first names on the team sheet for Didier Deschamps in the World Cup. I mean, what a performance this guy put on at the Bernabeu. It is Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 1, and it is Arsenal 1, Sporting 0. The first game I want to talk about is Arsenal Sporting because I think you got to save the best for last. And obviously, the Bayern Madrid game out of the two was the better fixture overall. I mentioned in my prediction video that I dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen that, make sure to go and give it a watch, that this round was going to produce an upset. And it still very well might. I mentioned how Arsenal have been off the back of two disappointing defeats in the Carabao and the FA Cup, and Sporting at home after what they did against Bodo Glimt, a lot of reason to believe that they could get a result from this game. And the reality is they probably should have got a result from this game if it wasn't for David Raya. There were two outstanding goalkeeping performances in the Champions League today, and David Raya's was one of them. I mean, again, if you watched the Arsenal Sporting game, there were chances both ways. Sporting hits the crossbar in the first half. Ben White gets a little bit like he did against Southampton in the FA Cup. It's one of the passes of the season from Diomande and Manchester United. Please, we made a video about Nico Schlotterbeck, but if we are going to sign a center back and you want a quality center half for a probably good price, I think you have to look at this player. The technical ability, the physical ability, this guy is a different level. But an incredible ball over the top. Sporting hit the crossbar. And aside from that, it was a pretty even game. Both teams were trading half chances, you could say. But neither team really looked super dangerous, in my opinion, to score a goal. And like I mentioned, David Raya for me was the man of the match. David Raya for me was the reason that Arsenal left Portugal with a lead to take back to the Emirates, because he was incredible for the course of the 90 minutes. And then, like we mentioned again in our prediction video, in the Champions League and tournament football, you need moments of magic. And Arsenal, although they weren't creating much, a moment of magic from Gabriel Martinelli off of the left wing, drives inside, finds Havertz in a pocket of space, and the German finishes, and it is a massive, massive goal. I think if you can go to the Emirates, if you're Sporting all tied up at 0 or even maybe at 1-1, you have that belief. You got a result against Arsenal at home. Now can we steal something at the Emirates? But going to the Emirates down a goal, especially conceding so late, is going to be super, super frustrating for Sporting, for Rui Borges. And now they have a ton of work to do at the Emirates. Still all to play for. 1 goal is nothing. We saw what they did when they needed to get a result against Bodo Glimt. They went and scored 5, albeit that was in Sporting. Obviously, the second leg now is going to be in London. Still a lot to play for, but a massive goal for Mikel Arteta's men to take back to the Emirates. So now we got that game out of the way, to be completely honest, because that game, it just wasn't anything special. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Now, this was a match of football. This was two European giants really putting on a show. And I thought that, in the first half especially, Bayern were really playing with their food. That Upamecano miss in the beginning of the game, I think like 8 minutes in, where he's right in front of the goal and he studs it. I mean, that's just simply a chance. I don't care if you're a center half. I don't care if you're Manuel Neuer. You have to take that chance, especially when you're playing against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu on a Champions League night. But Bayern were all over it. Luis Diaz, Michael Olise, Harry Kane. And I mentioned it at the start of this video. Michael Olise was playing at a different level to everybody on the pitch. That pitch had no shortage of stars. When you look at Harry Kane, you look at Kylian Mbappe, you look at Valverde, you look at Vinicius, but the way Michael Olise plays, the way he can be playing basically at a standstill and just change the pace of the way he's going and essentially go from 0 to 100 in the snap of a finger is incredible. Didier Deschamps, for me, this has to be one of the first names on your team sheet. with a front three of Mbappe, Dembele, and Michael Olise. I mean, the sky is the limit for this French national team heading into the World Cup. But Bayern as a whole, I mean, I mentioned it in my prediction video as well. I think Madrid, a team more so focused on the moments, which is why they've had so much success in the Champions League. But Bayern's such a well-oiled machine. And the first goal, they take it so well, that little intricate passing that they get. And I want to talk about Trent, because on this first goal for Bayern, you get the Trent experience, which is not always going to be the most locked on when it comes to defending, when it comes to runners running in behind, doesn't always do the best job as a fullback of tracking those runners. Bayern Munich go up 1-0. We get into the second half. Michael Olise, just as the second half starts, picks up the ball, drives and drives and drives. He was causing Alvaro a ton of issues down that right-hand side, puts it on a plate for the number 9, who I said was going to lead the Champions League in goals this season, the knockout stages anyway, in Harry Kane, and it's just trademark Harry Kane. The touch to get it out of his feet, and you just know when he's, when he faces the ball the way he does, he's just going to bend it around the corner, and bend it around the corner he does. 2-0, and Bayern look like they might run away with it. The problem is when you don't take your chances and you don't bury teams like Real Madrid, they will make you pay. And I mentioned the Trent experience for the goal that they conceded, but Trent also gave you the Trent experience in the goal that they scored. And in this specific moment here, when Trent is in that wide channel, there is no fullback in the world of football that you would rather have with the ball at his feet in that specific position than Trent Alexander-Arnold. Say what you will about the defensive side of his game. Are there a ton of flaws? Yes. But there is no fullback in the world of football that can do what he does with the ball. I'm not saying when you compare it to Nunmensch or when you compare it to Hakimi, they do things at the highest level. They do things at a higher level than Trent. But when it comes to that specific moment there, getting the ball into that channel and him putting it just in a place where Mbappe can get to it at the far post, there is no other player in world football in his position, in my opinion, that can do what he does so consistently. And when you see that, when you see what Trent has at his disposal, when you see what he can provide a team who's chasing a lead, who's trying to get back into a game, I look at it and I think, how in the world could Thomas Tuchel even begin to justify not bringing Trent? I'm not saying that he has to be your starting right back going into the tournament, although to be completely honest, it's not like England have an abundance of riches when it comes to the right back spot. Obviously, Reece James is top, but you never really know with his health. Obviously, for England, you hope he's ready to go for the World Cup. But when you're chasing a game, especially, what Trent can give you in that right back position is of a different stratosphere. This is a special player. This is a unique player. And yeah, just like that, Real Madrid, they get a goal back. But I have to mention one other performance before I forget, and that is Manuel Neuer. The fact that this guy is still doing what he's doing in the Champions League in 2026 is incredible. Some of the saves that he made on Kylian Mbappe in this game were absolutely incredible. And even that chance where Vinny had the ball in front of the goal and he forces Vinny wide just at an angle where he can't curl it around him. I mean, this is one of the greatest of all times, arguably the greatest of all time. A World Cup winner, a Champions League winner, still doing it in 2026. What a performance from Manuel Neuer in this game. I mean, Mbappe could have had a hat-trick by himself, but when you have a goalkeeper like we've seen for Real Madrid on the opposite side, with Thibaut Courtois making save after save, winning them ties on his own, that's why having a top-level goalkeeper is so important in modern-day football. And Manuel Neuer is one of the most important of them all. So yeah, that's really it. I just wanted to make a quick reaction video. Obviously, there is still all to play for with both of these ties. Sporting a pretty tall mountain to climb, going back to the Emirates where they are going to try and get a result against the Premier League leaders in Arsenal. And we know what Arsenal can look like defensively. We know what Arsenal can look like when holding on to a result. So it's going to be different, but it can happen. Obviously, they're not going to feel that they can't do it because they went into the second leg, like I mentioned, against Bodo Glimt, down 3-0. Obviously, you can't compare Bodo Glimt to Arsenal, but they know what it's like to go into a second leg a goal down, and I think they'll have all the confidence in the world that they can turn it around. It takes one early goal. The Emirates can get a little bit nervy and things can change. On the opposite side, now Real Madrid has to go back to Germany and play Munich at the Allianz, and that is a tough place to go. That atmosphere will be bumping, they will be buzzing, and Vincent Company just has this team playing at an extremely high level. I think they are, maybe aside from Luis Enrique's PSG, the most well-oiled machine, if you will, just in terms of 1 through 11, from keeper all the way to their number 9. Like I mentioned, they're my favorites to win the entire tournament. It would be crazy for them to go through Real Madrid and then either PSG or Liverpool, but I think that they are going to do it. And now we look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow we look forward to Atletico Barça. We look forward to Paris Saint-Germain versus Liverpool. 2 incredible games of football. And yeah, we get to do it all again tomorrow. But that is it for this one. Like I said, I just wanted to drop a quick video. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you really enjoyed it. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. I'll chat to you all again very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.